Hello, and thank you for taking the time to listen to these messages. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Also, check out the description box for ways to support our channel. Thank you. Hello, my name is Alec Himes, and welcome back to the Collective Perspective. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about how I personally changed my life. There's no cookie cutter on how to do it, man. Uh, this is these are just things I did on my own that my intuition was guiding me to do, and so these are some of the steps that I took to bring me to where I currently am today. Um, just to give a little background on what I'm talking about, as all human beings, we go throughout life, we grow, we expand, we go along our journey. Sometimes we hit those 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 brick walls or those plateaus. You know what I mean? And we may find ourselves at a crossroads, for lack of better terms. And so you start to ask, it's like, okay, what is it that I'm doing wrong? If I'm doing anything wrong. And you have to go back into your self-examination mode. You know what I mean? You have to turn that third eye inwards and examine yourself and look at your behavior, look at your words, look at your outward actions, look at your thoughts, everything. Um, Start to look at some of your personal relationships and try to get a grasp on some of the areas that you may examine and feel that you need to change. And for myself, I reached a point to where, I hit that plateau. And my personal growth and expansion needed more work in the areas of self-love and healing, and also in personal relationships as far as intimate relationships, man and woman. So after reaching that point, I realized that the place that I was in, I couldn't be there anymore. I had grown beyond where I currently was, and I had a choice to make. And it was either to stay in that situation and stay, not that it was a horrible situation, deplorable, whatever, it wasn't. But my internal compass was calling me to do something greater, to be something greater than what I currently was or what I was at that time. And I humbly believe that a lot of that internal conflict manifested itself into a skin condition called eczema or psoriasis. I believe they're right along the same lines, pretty much the same thing, but I think one is more like allergy or stress related, which is the one that I had. So again, that forced me to turn that eye inwards and start to look at what it was within me that was causing this to manifest outwardly. And came to the conclusion that I was I was going against my internal voice. My internal voice was telling me to do this series of things. And I instead kept choosing what I wanted, what my flesh wanted, what I thought was comfortable, what I thought was enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? That comfort zone, that I don't know. I guess you could say that easy place. And yes, it would have been okay to stay there, but I would have been in constant conflict of what my internal compass was pointing me to do. So the first thing I did was, after I examined myself, figured out what it was about me that I needed to change, made a list of it, which for me personally, it was changing my thoughts, taking control of my thoughts, whether they be the conscious thoughts and my idle subconscious thoughts, right? So basically taking control of my brain, taking back control of my brain, because I'm the type of person that, when I work, when I do things, I'll put on music or I'll have a song in my head and I'll start, singing that song and I'll have that song going and that's what makes my task easier. And before the song or soundtrack that was playing in my head was usually hip hop, rap music, something that was not very favorable to, wanting to change or rebuild, reprogram your subconscious. So I started thinking to myself, like, man, every time I try to go to meditate, Cardi B or 21 Savage or whoever pops in my brain, you know what I mean? And so I was like, well, dang, how can I best stop that from happening? I want my clarity of thought that way. When I sit down to meditate and I sit down to relax and breathe, this random stuff isn't popping in my brain. So I noted that. I also noted, again, I wanted more uh, value and more depth and structure to my personal relationships. You know what I'm saying? Then I also noted that I wanted more healing, because for some that may not know, I had two shoulder surgeries probably back in 2001. And then I had one in 2001, second one in 2002. Um, so I've experienced a great deal of pain for, like the last 20 years, you know, because that injury had gone undiagnosed for about a year. So we're talking probably 2000 when I injured myself as an apprentice electrician and didn't get surgery until 2001. And then had a second surgery because I went right back to work after the first surgery and re-injured myself. So I had to have second surgery 2002. So I'd suffered from quite a bit of pain for like I say, half my life, man. You know, I'm not gonna give away my age, but again, I'll let you guys figure that out. But so I wanted to ease my pain in that area, and again, I had broken out into the skin condition, so that was another area that I needed healing in as well. And I started to do my research because I wanted to focus in on the healing part first. Because I just knew that if I could focus in on healing myself, then everything else would kind of fall into place, basically. Um, so I started researching Chinese medicine because a lot of the videos and things that I was watching on YouTube, like uh, it kept pointing to uh, something being blocked within my energy centers. And so I started to research Chinese medicine and started doing research on acupuncture and different things like that to see what was going to be, most effective for me. And I just knew that I was on the right path, that unblocking my energy centers was going to help me heal. So the first thing I really did was I stopped watching television. I used to watch like CSI, Criminal Minds, stuff like that, like the murder mystery type, action movies, shoot 'em up, bang bang. I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of Halo, um, a lot of first person shooter games. I stopped playing all first person shooter games. I stopped watching stuff like the murder mysteries. I strictly monitored what I was feeding my brain. I stopped listening to any music that had lyrics in it whatsoever. Like I went cold turkey and started listening to exclusively, which I always, from a kid, enjoyed jazz music and stuff like that. That was like my, what do they say, guilty pleasure. Like I was a closet intellectual. I loved jazz music. I loved violins. I loved piano. You know what I mean? My sister plays the piano. She's absolutely amazing. I used to thoroughly enjoy listening to her play piano as a child. And so I've always enjoyed that kind of music, but I've just never been outward with it because I really always wanted to kind of fit in, be cool. But in my later years, once I've gotten to my core of who I am, that's who I am. I do still enjoy hip hop, but I can put it in its proper perspective now. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't get stuck in my head. And I still really don't even listen to it since I've changed. So, but yeah, I went exclusively to, jazz music, anything instrumental, orchestra music, all that. Everything that is nothing vocal. Um, because I did not want anyone's voice in my head but mine and the creators, period. I wanted to be able to distinguish between my voice and the divine, so to speak. So I basically went on like a sound deprivation. I put myself through a musical musical sound deprivation as far as the spoken word was concerned. Um, so I exclusively listened to jazz and instrumental music and classical music and Kenny G and Wynton Marsalis and Herb Alpert, his instrumentals and just everything, everything. And that right there was beautiful. It really helped open a lot of things that had been closed for a long time, as far as like us, some of my thoughts and my thought process, allowing my energy to be in a higher area of my body, shall we say. So after I started the deprivation with the television and with what I was feeding my eyes, then I started with the deprivation on what I was feeding my ears. And from that point, I was able to get clarity. I'm talking about when you sit down to meditate and the only thing that floats through your head is beautiful jazz or, uplifting, high vibrational instrumental music. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that was designed to get you in that high vibration, which is where you want to be when you're meditating and just in life in general. You know what I'm saying? The places you're able to go and the clarity and depth that you will find from starting to detox yourself from what society and mainstream has for us. You know what I'm saying? We as a collective have to start demanding something different, which is what we're starting to do. We're waking up and we're starting to demand different news sources, different entertainment. You know what I mean? What we consider to be cool and what we consider to be fashionable, what we consider to be this, that, and the third is changing. The definitions of all these things are changing in real time every day. You know what I'm saying? And that was another reason why I come up with this channel, because we want to be able to shift and pivot with those changes. We want to be able to talk about it while it's going on. And so I I humbly believe that that was the beginnings of being able to get the emptiness and clarity within myself to be able to go within and figure out the exact issues that were at the core of where I needed my healing, the quality that I wanted in my personal relationships. You know what I mean? And all that came from detoxing myself, and that way there were no other voices in my head, no other anything in my head. See, most people can't even sit in silence and just be. They have to have some sort of stimulus. They have to have music playing or this or whatever, you know what I mean? But when I learned how to sit in silence and get centered and become self-aware and aware of my own personal energy and how it is moving throughout my body, that's the most beautiful gift that any human being can ever get. I'm telling you, once you become aware of how your energy moves through your body, you can properly push it and control it. You can properly ease your pain. You can properly raise your own divine energy. You can properly open your own energy centers. You can properly keep yourself balanced and live a beautiful life, have wonderful quality of life. All you need is your basic seven. Your basic seven, your starting seven, the internal ones. That's all you need. You don't need to go any further than that if you just want to live an average life. So, but that was how I changed my life. I started with inward reflection. I turned my third eye inwards and I examined and I said, okay, I want to stop listening to rap music. I want to stop watching this. I want to stop doing that. You know what I mean? And we're all still a work in progress. We're a constant evolution progress. If anyone was perfect, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be able to be here. Everyone has something that they're working on. Everyone has a mission, has a purpose, has something that we are constantly in the evolutional process in on ourselves. You know what I mean? Because if you weren't, again, you wouldn't be able to physically stay here. You would phase out of this existence. You would be of too high of a vibration to be perceived by any human being if you were truly perfect. So, I don't know, that's just food for thought. But it is possible. Anyone can take control and change their life on your own. You don't need the help of a spiritual teacher. You don't need the help of, all you need to do is pray to the Creator and ask for the Creator's help. Ask for the archangels to help you, to guide you, your spirit guides, your ancestors that have passed on to the ancestral realm. All those people are here to help us. You know what I mean? All we have to do is lift our voice and ask, and that's it. We have to freely ask them to help us, and the help is always available. So, yeah, I humbly believe that anyone can do it. Anyone. Again, there is no cookie cutter. There is no template to any of this. Like, there's no way for anyone in 2020 to show you what it looks like and to tell you that this is the only way it can be done. So, I would like to thank you for taking your time and your energy to listen to my message. And allowing me to share my thoughts and my love with humanity. Have a wonderful day.